Hey, what's up everybody? It's Matt from HowToMotorcycleRepair.com. In today's video, we're going to organize this brand new toolbox. Plus, stay tuned till the very end. I'm going to give some stuff away, so make sure you stick around for that. Alright guys, so last week I showed you a video on unboxing my brand new toolbox here, and since then did a little shopping and spent like $300 to $400 on products to organize all my sockets, my wrenches, screwdrivers, you name it, so it's all clean, well laid out, and that way I know where everything is, and hopefully it'll make me work more efficiently. Alright guys, so before we get into organizing the box, I have some huge news to tell you. StrictlyToolboxes.com is a sponsor of this channel. That is freaking awesome. I don't know what to say at this point, other than I don't have enough good things to say about this company right now, and that's because the shipping was fast, customer service was great, and the fact that they're supporting this channel is just freaking awesome. So Strictly Toolboxes, thank you so much. So if you guys are considering a new toolbox, check them out. I'm sure they'll have something for you that will work in your price range and the size you're looking for and whatnot. They have a ton of boxes, so click up here and check them out. All right guys, so something else I want to share with you is that I've had that box for 20 years. Just kept jamming stuff in there, never really ever cleaned it out. I found all these old pictures in there and some old time slips and whatnot, so I want to share these with you because, I mean, I don't have digital copies of these. That's how old they are. I mean, some of these are from the 90s and, you know, when I kind of get started on wrenching. So let me show you some of these pictures. It's kind of funny how I found these. So here's a picture of my first dirt bike. This is an 84 YZ80 that my brother and I split. We bought it for $180 back in 94, 95. And that's how we all got started in dirt bikes. 2 weeks after we bought it, the thing blew up. Had a mechanic fix it, cost an arm and a leg, had to flip a lot of burrs to fix that bike. And then that's when I started realizing that, you know, if I want to get into this hobby, I need to fix stuff myself. So kept this bike for a while, kept fixing it up, did top ends myself, stuff like that, tires, you know, all the basic stuff. But eventually I outgrew it. So then I got my 125. That's a 92 CR 125 that I bought in a box. Bottom end was blown up. Thing needed everything. I spent way too much freaking money on this bike. And here I am with no shirt on. I don't know why, but so that bike was great. Learned a lot. Rebuilt the suspension, rebuilt the motor. I mean, I pretty much learned how to do a lot by working on that bike. However, I wouldn't recommend doing that, or at least do it once in your life, because you know what? You're going to spend a lot of money and you'll never get it back. Next up, this is an 86 GS6R 750 that I bought before I was 18, and the day I turned 18, I actually got my M license, and also the following Monday I started working at a dealer as a PDI tech, pre-delivery inspector. So I was always taking new and used bikes that were purchased, making sure all the fluids were good, bolts were tight, whatnot, taking it for a test ride. The test ride was the best part. And then giving it to the customer. So that was a cool job, lasted 3 or 4 months, and then I went off to college. Also had this 89 GS6R 1100 that was punched out to a 1315. Now the purpose of this bike was to I bought it for cheap and I just flipped it. So I fixed it up and flipped it. You can see the for sale sign on there already. Oh, and backing up here, you can see the CR 125 in pieces back here. So anyway, this bike was pretty quick. Actually, I had 0 time on the street with this, or 0 seat time. Took it right to the track, and here's a time slip. My first pass was 10:46 at 128. Reaction time of 8:83 and a 60-foot time of 1:08. So this bike probably was capable of a 1.5, 60 foot. Obviously a better reaction time. I think with a very good rider on here, this thing probably would have been low 10s or high 9s. So this was a pretty quick bike, and you know, my goal with it was just to flip it. Next up, here's me and a couple of my buddies on top of a car drinking beer. I have no idea why. I bought this Suzuki Samurai for 75 bucks, and we just beat the hell out of it in up north in Wisconsin, where my parents have land. Me shooting an AR-15. Here's the first Chevelle I owned. Bought it for 990 bucks back in 2000. Fixed it up and flipped it. Should have kept it, but anyway. So then years later, I had to buy the same Chevelle, except this one was a 70, pretty much the same color, and I bought it in 2005, and I still own this today. However, I have zero time or money to work on it, so it pretty much sits in the garage. However, I got a few projects over the winter, so hopefully that'll change. Here's a van that I owned, all black, like the freaking A-Team, and this thing was awesome. It had an electric bed in there, and you know, I had a trailer hitch and a trailer and my dirt bike, and I would just go riding, and I would just crash in this thing, and it would just be awesome. You know, I go riding, camp out in it, and that's how my life was back then, and when I was a teenager. And obviously with 4 kids now, it is completely different, but hey, you know, I got the pictures to remember it by. All right, guys, so the first product that I want to talk about, Hansen socket trays. Right here is a 6-pack kit that you get, and I bought this on Amazon for like $43 or so. Now, actually, a lot of these products I bought from Amazon, so I will have the links in the video description, also on my website. If you plan on buying any of this stuff, those links support me. So feel free to click on them and purchase stuff. That'd be awesome. Maybe I can buy a beer with a couple of pennies that I earn from that. If not, if you want to buy it from somewhere else, that's cool too. So anyway, these are plastic. They have posts. And the idea here is that the socket gets put on upside down. And it has what looks like screen printed numbers on the posts that identify the socket size. Now, as you can see with the 1/4-inch drive, these are very small, and I know a couple guys have complained that these break off easy, and I can totally see that happening. Also, when this thing is fully loaded, I can see that it'd be hard to transfer this from, let's say, your toolbox to your tool cart and whatnot. So if you plan on moving sockets, you know, with the 1/2 inch especially, I don't think that's going to be possible. Also, these are a little taller because your socket's going to be up to here, and this is going to poke out a little bit. So just be mindful of that. But however, it is very easy to read these, and these are a pretty good value. I mean, if you divide 45 by 6, I mean, they're like $7 each or whatever. I mean, they're inexpensive, gets the job done. All right, over here we have billet aluminum socket trays from WestlingMachine.com. Now, these socket trays were sent to me from Alex at Westling Machine. So Alex, if you're watching this video, thank you so much for sending these out. These look really nice. And they're made here in the US, billet aluminum, anodized, and you got these pins. So basically the socket just sits right on top. Now what you see here is an orange color. This is a brand new color for them. I believe they have red, blue, black, lime green, orange, and there might be other colors that I'm missing. But anyway, if you want to check them out, you'll see a link pop up. I think these look really nice, and I think they're going to work well, and we're going to demonstrate that in a few minutes here. All right, next up I have a screwdriver rail set from Ernst, so we'll check that out. I have a wrench rail set from Ernst, so we'll check that out. Next is the Ernst Socket Boss. This is a twist and lock deal, and these 3 rails clip into this black tray, and you can actually release it and move it and whatnot. So we'll also look at that. All right, what else do we have here? All right, these are plier holders. So instead of laying your pliers down in your drawer, you stack them in these dividers, and they really do save a lot of room. And one thing to note is you get this in a 2-pack for like $30. I had to snip these in order for it to fit in my Craftsman box. So this is about a 1/4 inch higher or so than what you see here. So just keep that in mind. Next up, this is a Hansen wrench rail, and it had the little things in here that lock the wrench in here, and I snipped them out. I didn't like the fact that they locked in here. You know, it's just preference. This thing's really designed for you to have wrenches in here and for you to pick it up and carry it somewhere. My intentions is to leave all the tools in this box. I'm not going to be transporting them or anything. And if I do, I have a little tool bag. I just throw everything in a tool bag without the tray. So I tried to get these to work by snipping it, and they just didn't fit right. But they are marked, so that is nice. But this one isn't just going to work for me. Not a bad product at all. It's just that, you know, I prefer something like this. This is an Ernst wrench organizer, and there's no little locks in here or anything, so they just slide in. They're loose, but it seems to work well. And this one has been trimmed because it wouldn't fit in my old box, so the new one is obviously way longer. However, I have a bunch of these, and I trim them to group a certain wrench style in this. So these are inexpensive as well, so they're pretty nice. All right, back here I have some expensive stuff. This is VIM or Vim Tools mag rails, TL. It's an anodized aluminum rail with neo or rare earth magnets in here. These are nuts with T-slots, so you can move them, and they are magnetized on the underside and on the top side, and supposedly you can stick them upside down on the side or on the bottom, and they won't, your sockets will not fall off. Now, 6 of these plus one of these and some other little extras, that kit's about $150 plus. So these are very expensive, and I'm interested to see how they work with all my sockets. Now, if I were to buy this product for every single socket I owned, I would spend $400 or $500. That's a lot of money, and I'm not prepared to do that. So I want to give them a shot, and maybe they do have a place for maybe owning 1 or 2 of these. But in any case, I'm curious and I want to check them out. Here I got the Torin magnet bit holder, so I got a bunch of bits that I need to store. So this is a magnetic deal, so we'll give that a try. Here's a Hanson torx tray, so we'll give that a try. It doesn't look like it's just straight up plastic. So all right, guys, so here's my first attempt of loading all the sockets in. I had my boys help me. It was nice to see them look at the socket and find the size, and you know, they helped me out there. So one thing I noticed right off the bat is if I put my 1/2 inch sockets way in the back there, it's actually about a 1/2 inch from the back wall. And with the Hanson socket trays, since it's on a long post, it's going to be difficult for me to get it off of the post there. So I either have to move these forward, or maybe I just have to start with my largest sockets here and work to my smallest. However, if I take the same socket and put it on the Hanson tray, the pin's only this high, so you can get this right off. And I can probably have this way at the back and get it out, no problem. So I already like the fact that I can do that because I want to maximize all the space here. So I like that for sure. That way I can get the socket off easy. Now you're probably thinking, well, this is way easy to read. That's going to be a little more difficult to read. That's possibly true. However, look at this 17 mil socket. It is, I use the hell out of that socket, and I can tell it's a 17 mil just by looking at it. Look at the dirt on it, look at the wear marks on it. And then, the 18 I never use, and I never use the 16 either. So I can identify the 17 no problem. Also, the Westling socket tray has 2 more pins in the 1/2 inch metric than the Hansen does, and I think 1 more pin, 1 more size than the 1/2 inch standard. And that applies to the 3/8 and 1/4 as well. I believe there's 1 or 2 more pins on each, so you get a little more. Also, another thing I like about these Westling ones is they divided the 1/2 inch into 2 plates versus 1 big part. So let's say I want to take these out. You can just lift them up and it's manageable, right? That is if you want to take this out for whatever reason. If I were to take this out, I think it's very clumsy. Actually, I wouldn't even consider taking this out. The plastic might break, or it's just really awkward because it wants to deform. So you definitely don't want to be leaning on the posts because they may break. Now, if you're going to leave them in your toolbox forever, I think it'll be fine, and this works pretty good. Over here, I noticed that the 15 and the 14 mil slightly interfere on impact sockets, and it's not the case over here on the Westling. They provided enough room, so if I were to put this here, those fit on there really nice. But you can see here, I need 2 sets of everything, and I got a lot of empty posts. I don't plan on buying deep sockets here for the 1/2 inch, so this kind of does take up a lot of space, but I don't need 2 sets of the 1/4. So I think I'm going to transfer everything from the Hansen here, because these posts are very small, onto the Westling here. All right, so here's a closer look. You can see that this post is pretty weak. I imagine that I would eventually break these, especially just on the 1/4 inch. On these, I don't think, maybe these posts over here, but I think eventually these would kind of fail. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer these. So again, they're upside down on the Hansen, and they're right side up on the Westling. So here's a closer look at the Westling socket tray. You can see that you have an option of getting them etched or engraved or whatever with the corresponding number of the socket with a little arrow pointing to it. So that's a nice feature. And the sockets are loose on here, but they're not falling off, and they're easy to get on and off. So I got a little bit of oil on that one. And here's just another close-up. Let's tip this quite a bit and see what happens. So you can see that none of the sockets fall off. They jiggle a little bit, but you can get a pretty steep angle on these and they don't fall off. Okay, so here's a close-up of the Hansen. You can see that here's the post, here's the little chamfer with, I believe, silk screened numbering system. And And this one, you know, of course it can go on an angle with the posts and everything. It's not moving at all. And this tray is somewhat smaller, so you can move it around. Okay, next up is we got this Plier Organizer. And these are really nice. They stand them up, save a lot of space, because you either have two options. You can stand them up like this or just lay them flat in a shallow drawer. And I'm going to try this out here because I do have some space here. And you'll see my other drawers are jam-packed already. So one thing you can do is if you have pliers that are wide open like this is you can take a rubber band just to hold them shut for a while. Okay, over here we have this magnetic bit holder, and the magnet doesn't work too well through the drawer liner. It's a pretty weak magnet, but all these bits are magnetically held in here. And you know, to tell you the truth, I don't use these bits all too often. I used to use this one quite a bit, hex to 1/4 inch, but now with my Milwaukee Impact, I use these. And I got one in 3/8 and I got one in 1/4. There is a carburetor tool here, the little D-shaped thing that I use quite a bit, but I think I can probably get rid of this and these bits put somewhere else where I don't use all too often. I haven't found a good method to store my extensions, so I'm still looking into that. Westling also makes this universal 1/4 and 3/8 version. So you can see under here all 3/8 pins, here a 1/4 inch, and that's for torx and hex. So I got a couple of them lined up here. This one's actually a 1/2 inch. I threw on here. It's a little loose, but I don't think it's going to go anywhere. So this is kind of nice to start organizing a couple of these. And I will have to buy another one of these to get all my hex ones on here. But for the time being, that looks pretty cool there. Alright guys, so I bought these two products here, but after looking at them for a while, I'm not going to use them. I'm probably going to send them back. These just hold 3/8 size bits like this, and it works fine and everything, but they do take up more space than the Westling. The spacing is wider and it's plastic, and you know, I'm just going to run the Westling ones. I think they're much nicer than this. So this will go back to the store. And then over here I got this socket boss thing. It's a twist and lock, and really I don't want to twist anything. I mean, when I want to put something on, I just want to just leave it alone. I don't want to be fumbling around with greasy sockets. I mean, I always have oil or whatnot on my fingers, and I really don't feel like doing another operation to load them in. However, you know, this is nice. I mean, once you lock it on there, it is on there. And then also you can take these off, so this whole thing slides out. So it's kind of cool how they designed it, but you know, I'm not going to be transferring around or anything. So it's just preference. I'm just being picky here, and nothing wrong with this, but I'm going to send them back. All right, next up is this VIM mag rail. You can see it's an extrusion, and they got some magnets all along the length, and they have these T-slots, and you can adjust this anywhere you want. First of all, these magnets are freaking strong. This drawer liner is a good 1/8 inch thick or so, and just look at this. It just plops right on there, and it takes a good amount of force to get this off of the drawer, and it slides a little bit, but I'm using a lot of force, way more than say this. All right, and then what's cool about this is you can move these to space your sockets however you want. And here I have a 3/8. Here's a 1/4 inch, and then let's say I want to put a 1/2 inch on here, so you can totally customize these. However, these are really pricey. But let's just give this a shot here. So I got a 1/2 inch here, 3/8. Let's just, so you just gotta rock it a little bit and pull off. It takes a little force to get it, but here's a 1/4 inch. Well, that one's a little loose. Hold on. And let's take a huge 1/2 inch. Man, it even holds this huge socket. Pulled the whole rail off though. So you can't pull straight up. You gotta cock it a little bit. Pretty strong too. And you can mount it anywhere. So check that out. If you want to make some space, you can mount it on the side of your box here. Comes with these lift rings, because man, I cannot get this thing off right now. I mean, this it'll slide, but I cannot get it off when it's directly on metal. So it comes with these lift rings. Pops right off. But I think I found a solution to my, if I were to put this thing down here, all the way down, maybe I can organize all my So I think that would be pretty cool, just to have a mag rail here and just have all my extensions right here. Yeah, it's gonna droop a little bit, but at least they won't, even if it's drooping a little bit, it won't go anywhere. So I think that's definitely an option. Just have a long rail here and adjust all these. And I don't even think you need the pegs. You can just freaking put it right on there. I think that's pretty cool. It's gonna keep them in place. Yeah, I'm gonna figure something out with that for sure. Alright guys, so another application for this Vim rail is just put the posts at any spacing you want and you can hold your screwdrivers with it. So that's certainly an option. I think that works better than the Ernst rail. Now it'd be nice if this was a little higher, that way you can get, you know, full engagement of the shaft here, but you know, that is certainly an option. Another thing is you can move these and, you know, hold any tool you want, really. You can hold wrenches, and it doesn't have to be in the horizontal position. You can probably have this hanging up, and it'll hold pretty much anything you want. These magnets are really strong. All right, next up, wrench rails. Okay, so what you see here on this side is the Ernst, and it comes with 4 of these. 2 of them obviously are used for this set, and another to reverse the order, meaning this is small to large, and if you put that one on next to it, it'll be large to small. You can get these without anything. You can get it with double-face tape. You can also get it with magnetic strip. I have the screwdriver organizer with magnetic strip, and the magnets don't work well at all on top of the liners. Double-face tape, I don't think I'd want that because, you know, it would, if you want to move it, it'll tear up the liner, or I think it'll fail over time. I mean, some double-faced tapes, I know that they just don't last long. I like these, the fact that you can hold a lot of tools here. However, they do slip. So you can see here that they don't hold very well. So if you were to slam the drawer or whatever, these would come tumbling down. And also the width. You know, there's nothing holding these. So I'm not really crazy about them. I do like how you can get them, you can tuck all the wrenches really tight up against the drawer. But the fact that these move around like that just isn't going to work too well. These, however, I do like. And this is what it's like in brand new condition. It holds 16. And I have trimmed that one, and I believe I trimmed that one. So what I'm going to do is, I got 1, 2, 3 here. I'm probably going to have to order a few more. What I plan on doing is I'm going to group all my wrenches per style. Versus here, I got a whole bunch. I got my Snap-on ones. I got my Craftsman. And then over here, I have some, these are the 12-point Craftsman. I got over here 6-point. And then I also have some gear wrench ratcheting ones. So what I think I'm going to do is order a bunch of these because they're only like $5. And I'm going to, you know, put all my gear wrench here. And I only have 5 or 6 of them, and then what I'll do is I'll slice it or trim it, and that will be just for that style of wrench. Next, I will do my 6-point Craftsman, and then trim whatever I need, and so forth. So that way, I'll probably end up with 4 or 5 of these, and I'm just going to stack them up here. And the same would apply for the standard size. Now, I don't know how I cracked this. I think I was trimming this and the blade got caught and I cracked this. So I'm going to have to order a few more of these. But I think that's what I'm going to do with that. And I think I'd be happy with that for sure. I do like these. These are nice. The Ernst can easily get them in and out. There's no snaps or anything. They seem to work well, and it displays. And it also displays them nice. One thing I wish they would do is make some that are reverse. So you can see here that these both display it laying this way. I wish they made it like this. They would reverse the order so that way I can tuck everything in real tight here. All right, so here's the Ernst screwdriver organizer, and here's the magnet I'm talking about. I mean, if you look, it has almost no bite over this drawer liner. So, you know, I guess you're supposed to put this right on the metal, but again, you know, even on the metal, I mean, it's such a weak magnet. This is the old school like refrigerator magnet stuff, like magnet tape. So anyway, I guess this is how it's supposed to work. You're supposed to put it something like that, and then take your screwdrivers and set them up this way. So if you got different length screwdrivers, this doesn't really work that well, but you know, it goes something like that, and then all the little ones you can just put in there. Right off the bat, they slide around, so there's nothing gripping the screwdrivers, and they fall and slip and whatnot. So I'm not crazy about these. I think I'd rather just have them loose on the drawer liner and then just tuck them in tight. All right, guys, so let's just go through the couple of drawers really quick. So here's the socket drawer. I think I'm pretty well organized. I need to figure this out, which you saw me do. And then I might have to order another 1 or 2 of these Westling ones, and that'll go right here And that's pretty much it. I think that looks pretty good. I mean, this drawer holds a lot of stuff. I mean, man, I got a ton of empty space here, so I think this is going to work out pretty good. Next drawer. You can see I got a mess over here, but I'm gonna order a bunch of these in black and red, and that's what everything will be like, and I'll trim them and whatnot. The screwdriver organizer isn't gonna work out, so I'm gonna return this one. It's just it's not what I was looking for. Next drawer, no organizers, and I need to go through this drawer some more. Honestly, I had my boys out here helping me, and they kind of just started throwing everything in here. So this is all motorcycle specific stuff for the most part. Pullers and spoke wrenches, and I guess it's not specific, but a lot of motorcycle stuff is in here. So I'm getting there. This is all my air tools, and those impacts are awesome from Milwaukee. I love those things. And I have some empty drawers. Pullers. Yeah, I got another empty drawer here. Measurement stuff. I already opened that one. So that one's pretty empty. And then this is all stuff that I need to find out what to do with. I never use this stuff, so I might sell it. This stuff is just, it's just stuff I don't use often, and I need to get rid of it. That's what I got to do. All right, guys, time for a giveaway. I'm giving away a set of the Hanson socket trays to my patrons. I think I got 8 patrons or so. These guys support me for every video I create. They're pledging a certain dollar amount. And I think altogether they're pledging $40 per video I create. So these guys are awesome, man. And in return, I'm going to start doing giveaways for these guys. And, maybe they can win some cool stuff. So I got riding tips, Hayden R, the Buckaroo, Jared J, Paul B, he's my newest patron, Tim W, and Steve L. Also, these patrons, anytime I release a new premium video, like an engine rebuild, carburetor rebuild that's several hours long, these guys get the videos for free. So that's another perk of being a patron. And it just supports me, guys. I mean, I do run YouTube ads, but it's not as much money as one would think. It certainly does not cover the cost of creating these videos, buying parts and tools and bringing this stuff to you. So that's why I'm kind of doing this, to get something going here so I can make this sustainable. All right, let's see who wins the Hanson socket trays. Tim W, you're the winner. If Tim doesn't want it for some reason, let's see who else is in here. Hayden R. So Tim, then Hayden. If you guys want to get in some giveaways, then you'll see the Patreon link. See if you can pledge some money. If you pledge $3 or more, then you get all the premium videos in the future for free. All right, and I need to answer Ichiban Moto's question from the last video. He said, so is the couch comfy or not? And I ended that video saying, I think since my wife allowed me to get a toolbox, that she's gonna come home with a pair of shoes or a couch. And she didn't come home with a couch, but she came home with a love seat and ottoman or whatever. So, all right, that's cool, no problem. And it's actually comfortable, and the kids and I pile on it and whatnot and watch TV, so it's kind of cool. Now, for those of you that don't know Ichiban Moto, head over and check out his site. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw up a link here to one of my favorite videos that he created, and that's how to take dents out of a motorcycle tank. And I like that video because there's a lot of freaking sparks. It's totally badass. So make sure you check out that video and let me know what you think. All right, guys, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Hey guys, if you'd like to support how-to motorcycle repair and creating more videos such as this one, check out my Patreon page and see if you can help me out. You can also buy me an ice-cold beer or two by clicking on the link. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.